Hallo zusammen, I'm your Vlog Dave, of course, but maybe I'm gonna turn to React Dave in the future, who knows? And gotta be honest with you guys, I have never filmed a video this late in the day, and there's a specific reason for that. I don't want to point towards anyone that maybe it's him. I don't know. You might recognize him from this little video platform called YouTube. Du Röhre, it would be in German. YouTube. It's Adam Lusk.
I like it. What's up, everybody? Hey.
Hi.
What is it? What is YouTube in German?
Du Röhre would be the literal translation.
Just YouTube.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. I'll do it wrong. I know.
No worries. So, some of you might be wondering, okay, why this video and how did this all came about? Well, we've actually been YouTube buddies for more than 2 years now, and we've talked about doing a collaboration for months and months. And well, it didn't really work out time-wise until now. And here we are.
Hello. Yes. Thank you.
Hi.
To the coronavirus, I guess.
Yeah. Thanks to the coronavirus for this opportunity.
I'm really excited to do this.
And we're going to film a couple of little collaborations today. And the first one's going to be an interview regarding Adam's view on the German language and life in Germany in general, the German culture and whatnot. Anything #German, pretty much. And yeah, I'm curious. So first of all, if you wanted to introduce yourself, where you're from in America, for instance, feel free to do that.
Yeah. So my name's Adam. I'm 24 years old and I live in Southern California. Specifically, I live in San Diego area. And so, that's where I'm from. I pretty much grew up around here, so I'm pretty Californian, and yeah, anything else?
I think that sums up everything.
Okay, right on.
For the time being. Actually, he found out about me through looking up some things about the German language, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
back in the day, right?
Yeah. So what had happened is I've been interested in learning another language for a long time, and when I was in high school, do you call it high school in Germany, or do you call it primary school, or?
We have different elementary school would be Grundschule. Then we have basically 3 different forms of secondary school, which would be Hauptschule, main school, Realschule, real school, and and something that you might confuse with something else, Gymnasium. It's not a gymnasium though. It's not a place where you go to and work out. It's das Gymnasium. It's pretty much high school. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So when I was in high school, we were required to learn a language. And so the only one that they offered was Spanish. Since we're living so close to Mexico, I was like, okay, I guess that works. But I was never really interested in it that much. And one of my buddies who was also in high school at the time was learning German. And I was like, dude, that looks so much fun. I want to learn how to speak German. The language is just really interesting. And also I have family, my ancestry comes from Germany.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I have
That's cool.
some German blood in my ancestry. So I've always been super interested in learning German and learn about the culture and whatnot. And then about 2 years ago, I took a trip to Stuttgart, which is in the southern part of Germany. And my aunt has a property there, and so she has family that lives there. And so we were in Germany for the time, and I was like, this is the perfect time. I need to learn how to speak German. I need to go talk to people. And I was super, super into it because I was there doing it. I was using the app Duolingo, if you've heard of it. I was using that for a long time. And it was crazy. In 10 days, I went from no knowledge of the German language to literally talking to people in Germany. And I was like, how did I learn that quick? And it was blowing my mind. But then I started to really wonder about more German language stuff and some questions that the app couldn't teach me. I had to learn from you actually, like you taught me some things via your channel. But I also there was a girl who was on I can't remember her name, but she was like a girl YouTuber who was speaking German, and then there was Get Germanized as well, which is your friend. And I was like watching YouTube and like learning about the language, learning about the different things. Like one of the things that I'm sure you're gonna laugh at is the difference between der, die, and das. And I was like, I cannot understand how you do this, like how you just remember.
Yeah.
So that was something that I struggled with, and I can't remember if it was you or Get Germanized who had the video, who was talking. I think you both have a video on that. And so that was one of the things that's how I found you. And then I think I sent you a message. I was like, yo, thank you for posting these videos. They've been helping me so much. And you're like, aren't you from React? And I'm like, yeah, man, let's be friends, you know?
It's a small world. Yeah. It is. It really is. Yeah, and I think you also asked me what is the difference between keine and keinem or something like that back in the day.
There's some things like that I'm like, what is the difference? I don't understand, like, when you would use one versus the other, you know?
Yeah.
And those are still things that when I'm talking, I'll say the wrong thing. But, like, you get it when I say it. You're like, okay, it's a little bit wrong, but I understand what you mean, you know?
Yeah, and that's totally all right. I mean, like learning that kind of stuff, like inflections and conjugated forms of verbs, those kinds of things. I guess that's the hardest part. And also the articles, of course. I mean, you know, when you compare it to English, I guess it just doesn't make too much sense why it would be such a complex structure, whereas in English you only have the.
Yeah,
right?
It's the for everything. I'm like, there you go. Got it. Easy.
Right. So,
but then again, English is like stupid hard to learn. Like from what I hear, I mean, I speak it, so I don't know. But like, what are the things that are like super hard? It's like the words that sound the same but are spelled different. Like the difference between like night and night, as in like it's nighttime out versus a knight in shining armor. You know what I mean? Like that, I've heard from non-native English speakers. It's just so confusing.
Yeah.
So I guess language in general is just hard, huh?
Yeah, I mean, for instance, I don't know if you know that, but Germans actually get taught British English in school, like pretty much exclusively, I think. And so everything that I, for instance, know regarding the pronunciation of words and those kinds of things, and like more American English terms, I've actually soaked that in via media, like TV shows and music, and not in school. So YouTube and all that kind of stuff has really helped me as well. So you guys, like native speakers, I mean, I don't know. That's also something that I'm fascinated by and interested in. When I speak English, of course, you know, it's not my mother tongue. And of course, I have an accent and stuff, which is normal. But I guess from what I've heard, my English is rather American English as well, like from the sound of words.
Yeah,
and
you definitely are speaking American English and not British English. Like there's some things that you're saying that I'm like, okay, that's clearly, if you were in California right now, everyone would be like, okay, that guy's totally speaking English. Like he's got a bit of an accent, but you're totally speaking English.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like terms like dancing and dancing, you know,
versus like the pronunciation of it.
Yeah, those things.
It's funny, kind of on the same note. I have little kids that live above me, right? Because like I live in an apartment, and then there's like a house above me, and they're the landlords, and they have 3 little kids, and one of the kids watches this show called Peppa Pig. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in Southern California in America, and this little kid has a British accent from watching Peppa Pig, and I'm like, how does this even happen? That's so cool.
Wow.
And like I got hurt and I needed a Band-Aid for something, you know, like a Band-Aid, right? And he called it, what did he call it? What is it? Plaster. Yeah. He calls it plaster because that's what a Band-Aid is in British English. Is they call it, give me a plaster. And I'm like, what? That's plaster. I know. So weird. I was like, okay, that's so rad though, because
right. But languages like are so fascinating, I think, because sometimes like we also use many Anglicisms in German these days, and we sometimes even use English terms that English-speaking people, like native speakers, don't even use like that. For instance, I know you're probably aware of das Handy.
What is it?
Handy?
Handy?
I mean, you know the term, of course, from English, like something comes in handy and those kinds of things.
Okay.
And yeah, like a handyman.
Okay, yeah.
But when we Germans, like when we say handy, we actually mean a cell phone.
Oh.
A smartphone. Like this would be das Handy.
Oh, because it's handheld. Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Interesting. It's like Australians call sunglasses, they call them sunnies.
Sunnies.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, I like your sunnies, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a cool way to do that.
Sounds cute.
Yeah, you know what I did like is I liked when I was learning German a while ago. I was like, how do you say things like a computer in German? Like, what's the German word for computer? And the person who was describing it to me, they're like, you just say computer with a German accent, and that's it. You know, and I'm like, what?
Computer.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm speaking German. You know what else I noticed? When I was in Germany, I would agree with somebody, and instead of saying, oh, yeah, I agree with you, I'd be like, yeah. You know, I would say yes in German. It's the same thing, just a different inflection. And I was like, that's so weird how it's just so subtle, you know?
Yeah, true. Really, really true. I mean, we also have like some terms. I mean, sometimes it's also strange. We have German terms that could apply to certain things. For instance, like a laptop. We would also call that laptop, but we would also have like a German term, der Klapprechner, which basically means like a foldable computer.
Oh.
Of sorts, right? But we wouldn't use that term, der Klapprechner.
I'm not even gonna try. Damn.
Oh, you have to.
I need. Okay, okay. What? Say it one more time.
Der Klapprechner.
Der Klapprechner.
Yeah.
Is that good? Is that close?
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, honestly.
Ooh, I was nervous just.
And der Rechner, like the last part of that compound term, is like the universal term for any computer.
Rechner?
Der Rechner. Der Rechner.
How do you spell it? R-E...
R-E-C-H-N-E-R.
So it's Rechner.
Rechner.
Okay. It's hard to make my mouth do those things.
Yeah. Also, like, you might have noticed that at the end of that term, it's like ER spelled, spelling-wise, but it's like an R sound. Der Rechner.
Yeah.
Right? So, and those kinds of things, of course, when you begin to learn a language, you don't know those things, those details, but they are essential when it comes to like pronouncing German terms and the endings of them, those kinds of things.
There's a word that I kept saying, and they're like, don't say it that way because it means like nudity or it means something bad. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, or it means butt or ass or something. I can't remember what it was, but I remember I was like, oh, okay, so I really have to pronounce this word right. It'll take some time. It might come back to me, but like it's simple things like that. If like you say a word just a little bit wrong, it might mean something completely different.
Yeah. I mean, what I actually really confused also, or what confused me rather, would be like something like an herb. Because I would say herb, like I would pronounce the H. And I don't know, for the like of God or anyone else, devil and whatnot, why is there an H if you don't pronounce it? Like, what's the logic behind it, right? Do you know more about that?
I speak English and I don't understand it. Like,
right?
Or tsunami, you spell it with a T at the beginning.
Yeah, or psychology.
Yeah, or pterodactyl. There's a P at the beginning, like pterodactyl, but you don't even pronounce it. Why is the letter there?
Pterodactyl. Yeah, right?
I don't get it. I'm native speaker and I don't understand that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But maybe you guys watching this video might know something about that, so feel free to tell us in the comments.
Yeah, and let us know. I would love to know.
Yeah, but I would like to know, like, what was actually, if you can remember, what was the first time you actually heard or read a German word, and if you can remember, which one was it and why?
Like, okay, so I was in 2 years ago when I visited Germany, I also visited France, right? And so right before I visited Germany, it was France first. And so we went to France and we were in Toulouse and I was learning French for one day. And then I was like, why am I doing that right now when I can be spending 10 days in France learning German? So that way when I get to Germany, I already know some. So the first thing that it was teaching me, Duolingo, was the first thing that I had learned. Oh, actually, that's not true. I learned like when I was 10. I learned like very simple like German phrases. Like I would say, I don't even know if this is right. This is what my mom taught me when I was 10. And it would be Ich habe Hunger, which is I have hunger, which is just I'm hungry, you know? And so I would walk around my house at 10 years old being like, Mom, ich habe Hunger. You know what I mean? I would say it completely wrong, but
that sounds good though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But it would be stuff like that. And so I think that was like the first stuff. Or there was another one. There's a song. So I learned also Ich liebe dich, which is just I love you. So I would be like, Mom, ich liebe dich.
Thank you.
Yeah, ich liebe dich. There's a song though, and it goes, okay, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. It goes, Ich liebe dich nicht, du liebst mich nicht.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I mean, the song is called Da Da Da.
Yeah.
By Trio.
Uh-huh.
Trio. Like an 80s new German wave synthy kind of pop song.
Yeah.
But like the chorus actually says that, I think, like what was it again?
It's Ich lieb dich nicht, du liebst mich nicht. Da.
Ich lieb dich nicht, du liebst mich nicht.
Which means I don't love you, you don't love me?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's another thing I was trying to do, is trying to write the sentence out and then break down each word and be like, okay, this means this and this means this and this means this, which is sort of hard to do in Germany or in the German language, you know, because not everything it's not one to one. It's not like just this word means this word means this word. It's sometimes the words together kind of jumble themselves. But so what I'm getting excited about is the first German word that I saw in Germany was so overwhelming for me because because I was learning the language and I was like, okay, this is easy. These are bite-sized things. I got it. And then I stepped out of the airport and the first thing I saw was this sign with like 30 letters. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what does that say? And I was like, how am I supposed to read anything? And so then I realized it's just smaller words pushed together to make one big thing, you know? But I just remember thinking like, what the heck is this? So that was, I don't even remember the word. I don't even know the word. It was just letters.
And that's like a specialty of the German language, if you will, because we love compound words.
Yeah.
Like pretty much adding several different words and their meanings to a whole new word, which you might even just use once in a very specific situation or context, and then you will never use it again, but it would totally work grammatically.
Yeah.
Like, because it's usually, when you have compound words in German, usually the last part also determines the gender.
Uh-huh.
For instance, when you have something like das Hundefutter, the dog food.
Okay.
It would be der Hund, the dog, would be a masculine noun, but it's das Futter, the food. So, and because Futter is the last part of that term,
it's feminine. Oh.
Neuter. It's neuter.
Oh, sorry. D is feminine. Yeah, it's neutral. Got
right.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I remember.
So,
I just get them jumbled.
Yeah. You're not the youngest anymore, and I'm neither, so I can relate. It's hard to remember things, so yeah.
But it's what's the first word? Dark.
Hund, der Hund, the dog.
Dog food. So.
Dog food. Yeah.
Das Hundfutter?
Das Hundefutter. Yeah, there's an E in between das Hundefutter.
Gotcha. Why?
Well, it pretty much is, in Germany we call it a Fugenelement, like a Fugue, is it Fugue in English? Die Fuge? like a pretty much a combining element.
Gotcha. So it's like it would be the glue for these.
A gluing element, right? Yeah, because otherwise it would be like das Hund Futter, and then you have like two consonants right next to each other, D at the end of Hund.
So it makes it flow better.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I guess that's like probably the reason why. And you can also like something like S would be something like that, like a gluing element as well, linking element in many terms. And yeah, but that's also the reason many people are wondering, okay, like Germany, and you have like all these long terms and stuff. What is the longest German word, right? And many people keep wondering that. The thing is, though, because you can pretty much create any word you want and like line up, I don't know, 20 different terms. Don't know if it still makes sense to do that, like semantically speaking, if that term actually has any real meaning.
Yeah.
But you could technically do that. And
so there's no real limit then.
There is no real limit to it, right? So technically speaking, there is no longest German term, therefore. But of course, there are terms that can be found in like laws and judicial contexts and stuff that might be really long and like legit terms in that sense.
Because
right?
they're like legal terms. I get you.
They have a purpose, so a real purpose, and they're like fixed terms that are used more than just once, for instance, like made up creative terms.
So then, have you ever had that experience where you make up a word?
Yeah, certainly. Like sometimes it's even when you like want to explain or describe something, like the sound of something or like the look of something, and then you make up like a silly term. Don't really have like a proper example.
But right I get what you mean. Like if you were to describe something extremely specific, and the only version of that word would be in this specific scenario.
Right, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, definitely.
One of my friends, his name's Alex, he is the king at describing things that you wouldn't even like he will like I'll taste something. I'll be like, Alex, you need to taste this. And he'll taste it and he'll tell me exactly what I'm being reminded of. And he'll be like, oh yeah, it tastes like the 7th grade Play-Doh smell, you know what I mean? Or something specific.
Yeah.
So then that word, 7th grade Play-Doh smell, would be one word.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's convenient, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, you know, like doing that kind of stuff and creating terms like that, like compound words, that is also something you can do in other languages, of course, as well. Like it's not limited to German only, but it's like something really typical regarding the German language.
Yeah, so, it's just not something definitely. That I mean, maybe it is in English, but it's not something that I've ever noticed, you know? I guess there's some times where I'll like put words together, but it'll be like, you know, okay, have you ever heard of the YouTuber Tom Scott? He's like,
Scott.
He's not really huge. I mean, he's a big YouTuber, but he's like not like, you know, Philip DeFranco level. But he's one of the YouTubers that I watch, and he just did a video on how like you interject a cuss word into the middle of a different word. So so if I were to say like fantastic, but I was like really mad, I would be like fan fucking tastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's like a whole grammar to that, you know, like you can't just say fantastic fucking tick, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't work. Yeah. You have to be in the right spot,
right?
So it's a sort of the same kind of thing, but less nice.
That is really, really interesting. I mean, I guess like our generation, like younger people, would also in Germany. And if they are familiar with like the digital world, the internet, and like Twitch and the whole culture there and stuff, and like gamer slang, and you know, they would probably also use fuck instead of like the German equivalent, which would be like fick.
Oh,
ficken,
so then
right?
They'd say the English word.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like I mean, we use more and more Anglicisms in Germany these days. And also something like, I mean, we've been using like cool, for instance. Something is cool since like, well, 20, 25 years, 30 years at least in Germany.
Like the 80s, the 90s, like.
Yeah. just became a normal thing to say, right?
That's cool. Yeah,
and you don't even think about that. It's like actually it's an English term,
and now
we just use it.
Now it's just universal. Now everybody uses it.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
if I were to say like that's cool in Russia, someone would be like, yeah, cool, because they know.
Yeah. Right. Like gestures, yeah, for instance,
Thumbs up.
everyone in the world knows what this means. Like it's universally used and acclaimed in a way. Like, everyone.
That blows my mind sometimes that I could go anywhere and be like, yeah, and someone will go, yeah,
Yeah. Even though there are some differences, I think, because for instance in Spain, if you what was it? If you actually touch your like ear like this, which you might do like randomly as a reflect.
That can be like
it would be,
right?
Yeah, I think it's considered impolite.
Or
something like,
like this is British, like this is a British fuck you, you know what I mean? But like, what if I had an itch,
okay.
Is that
I mean, in Germany, if you want to show someone like, fuck off and stuff, we would use like show the finger.
Yeah, okay, same with America,
Yeah. Der Mittelfinger, similar to English, like the middle finger.
Yeah, which, you know what I like about German a lot is a lot of the times I can tell what the word is just by the pronunciation of the word. It might be spelled different. There's in the beginning of this, when we were getting on Zoom right here, I like logged into your thing and it was like you had to like let me into the meeting, right? And on the thing it said the personal meeting room of Dave, right? But it said it like personal. I don't even know how to like say it, but it looked
persönlich.
What's that?
With a persönlich maybe with an Ö with an umlaut.
I think there was an umlaut.
Like
there.
an O with two dots over it.
I think that was there, but just looking at the word, I was like, that says personal. Like I can tell what it says, which is fantastic. Now you speak, what is it? High German, like Hochdeutsch,
High German,
right?
Yeah.
Is it Hochdeutsch?
Hochdeutsch, yeah. Awesome.
Hoch, right? Or
yeah.
Heck yeah. I remembered.
Fuck yeah.
But there's other
such
versions.
A talent.
There's other versions though, right?
I mean, there are many dialects and stuff, but regarding like whole structures and different structural versions of the German language, like Low German has a really different sound. For instance, in Low German, you have a term like Apfel, which is apple.
Yeah.
And in Hochdeutsch, it's Apfel.
Yeah, so you have the PF.
The PF, genau, yeah. Exactly.
Hey, I know that word too. Oh, this is so sick. You said genau.
Yeah.
I know that word. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. It's like it's all Indo-Germanic languages. I mean, then again, most languages in Europe are Indo-Germanic languages. I think apart from Finnish and Hungarian. I think they stem from a different linguistic family of languages, so they don't have so many things in common with, say, like French, that is Italian, Spanish, German, and English, for instance.
Oh my god, dude, language is so cool. Language is just
languages are awesome.
I'm mad at myself for not sticking with learning German over the past 2 years, because when I first started talking to you, I was first learning German, and I would still say that I'm still first learning German right now. Like I don't know a whole lot.
I mean, once this is all over and we're gonna meet up at your place, for instance, you have some time to practice, of course, until then.
Yes.
So if you want to,
I need to now.
But no pressure.
Oh, this is me pressuring myself. I need.
Yeah, which is a good way of putting pressure on oneself, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about that all day. Like languages and music, pretty much like are my two main passions, and also like movies and TV shows and whatnot. And I just thought about because I was watching Breaking Bad for the last couple of weeks with my parents because they didn't know the show yet. And I don't know, have you seen Breaking Bad? There is like this scene, you might remember this, with Walt and Hank, where they are like watching this videotape of Gale and he's singing like Major Tom.
Yeah.
And you probably know the song Major Tom. Because there's an English version, but it's actually a German song. I don't know if you know that.
Like by David Bowie, Major Tom?
No, that is Space Oddity, but I think it pretty much features the same character.
Okay.
And Yeah, the German version is also called Major Tom, but it has German lyrics. Like the song itself is completely the same, but the lyrics are in German.
It's I'm sure you get it all the time, but it's like the Nina song, 99 Balloons.
Yeah, that's the same. Like in German, it's 99 Luftballons, which basically is 99. Well, it's not exactly the same because English it's 99 red balloons.
But in Luft is air, right? 99 air balloons, right?
So in the German title doesn't include that it's like red balloons. It just says it's air balloons, 99 air balloons, so to speak.
Yeah. I wondered why they said red instead of air. Probably because it wouldn't make sense to English speakers.
Do you know more German songs that are big in the US or that are known in the US
Rammstein.
Apart from them?
Do you know Rammstein?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Rammstein, especially with the metalhead population, huge. You know, so songs like Ich Studeue, I love that song. They have America. You know, that's a great song. But then they also have. I think there's one called Die Sonne or Die Sonne.
Sonne. Sun.
Yeah, but how do you say it in German? It's Die Sonne?
Sonne.
Sonne. Okay.
Sonne. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, they have that song.
So,
go ahead.
So you like Rammstein?
I love Rammstein. Yeah, and so funny enough, when I was in France and I was trying to learn and understand German, I took the lyrics to. Kein Lust. That's what it was. I was like, I gotta think of the song. Hang on. I took the lyrics to Kein Lust and I wrote out all the lyrics and then translated it word for word to see if I could understand what it said. And I did for the most part. I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
Honestly, like, I really, really appreciate, and I'm not saying that because, you know, we're friends and stuff, but I really like how close you are, like, to nailing the German pronunciation of things. Like, for instance, Keine Lust was pretty much, spot on, I guess. As far as I could hear, Keine Lust. I mean, I've actually last year I began making more Rammstein related videos as well, like analyzing the lyrics and translating them to English and explaining them linguistically. That's what I've been doing for the most part for the past couple of months, and those are among my most successful videos by far.
So like, essentially what I did on my own, you're doing for like the whole.
Yep.
Yeah. Right on.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's so. And
So that's really like awesome. I mean, so those might be interesting for you as well. And there's also another band, or that many other bands in Germany you might also like, which are more like punk rockish, pop punk kind of.
There's
stuff.
I know one. Hang on, I know one. Killer Pilze? Is that what they're called? Killer Pickles or whatever?
Killer Pilze, killer shrooms.
Yeah,
killer mushrooms, yeah.
I know. Maybe that's the name of the song. I can't remember. There is a punk song from a German band that was sick. That was like that. But go on.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also one that is like probably the most famous German punk rock band, that everyone pretty much has heard of at least, which is Die Ärzte.
Who is it?
The Doctors. Die Ärzte. The Doctors. They like play some punk rock stuff. Really, really cool. I think you would really like it as well.
I'm sure I probably know it.
I need to send you some links to songs by them later on. And then we also have one that actually started around the same time, like in the early 80s. Die Toten Hosen.
Ooh, that name sounds super familiar.
Yeah, the dead pants or like the dead trousers, pretty much.
Ooh.
Die Toten Hosen.
How do you say dead?
Tot.
Tot? Is
Tot.
it T?
T-O-T.
T-O-T, but T-O with an umlaut?
No.
Okay.
And that is also like a term you have to be careful with, because T-O-T, tot, is pretty much the adjective. You are dead. But if you're talking about death, like the noun, the death, it would be T-O-D at the end.
Ooh, okay.
Tot. Like the pronunciation would be the same, tot and tot, pretty much the same.
So that would be
but
just
the spelling is
contextual.
different.
If you're listening, it's just context.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
true.
So, I'm learning so much right now. I love this.
And sometimes, I mean, that's also funny. You have, like, for instance, you have some German magazines that sell like fun shirts and with statements and sentences, like funny stuff on them. And for instance, one says something like "Komm, wir essen, Opa," which
Yes.
means "Come, we're eating, Grandpa. Let's come to the dinner table and let's eat. We're eating now.
Yeah.
It's dinner time." And that is really like, that is the German language in a nutshell, because you can place different commas here and there, and depending on where you point or place the comma in that sentence, it changes the whole meaning of the sentence. Like,
So it could be
from
like, "Come, Grandpa, we're eating," versus "Come, we're eating, Grandpa."
yeah, you're eating, Grandpa, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff like that. So, and that is like, that is why I love the German language.
Yeah, that's the same.
I mean-
It's the same in English too.
I mean, I'm a little bit biased, of course, being a native speaker, but yeah, I just like it.
It's rad.
So yeah, so let's see. I've actually wrote down a couple of questions, but I guess we have actually answered most of them already without having to ask them, which is really cool. Regarding your experience in Germany and your stay here, what would you say surprised you the most, and what was the biggest difference to life in America?
When I was in Germany, I sort of had the notion that everyone was going to be like not helpful. Like they're going to be like, "Oh, you don't speak German already," like kind of thing. And so I was really nervous to go there and try to speak German. And everybody that I spoke to was very like teaching me. You know, they're very, very helpful. And they're like, "Oh no, that's not how you pronounce it. You use it this way." Or like one of the waitresses said, before I knew what it meant, that she said "genau," and I was like, what does that mean? She goes, "Oh, it means exactly. Are you learning German?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so she started speaking like way more slowly for me, and like let me order in German, and I ordered wrong, of course, but she didn't like go like, "Oh, you can't speak it." She was like, "No, this is what you would say instead." And I was like, "Thank you so much." Like,
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And like, I think it was just the whole welcoming with open arms aspect that I loved. I loved it about Germany. The other thing that I was really tripping out on is how far back history goes
Yeah,
for Germany. Because have you been to America ever?
not yet. Sadly,
America?
no.
Pretty much, I mean, it's obviously there's things that happen beforehand, right? There's things that happen before the creation of America, like Native Americans existing, Columbus coming by, you know, like the Vikings that landed in Maine way beforehand, you know what I mean? But for the majority of it, all of our buildings, all of our history, pretty much most of everything starts at the creation of America in 1776. So there's some things that are beforehand, but for the most part, it's all right there. And then I was in Germany, and they're like, "Yeah, this castle that we just visited is from, 300. I'm like, 300? That this castle is 2,000 years old? Like, I mean, a little bit less, but I was like, wow. Crazy. Like, the oldest building in America starts at like, 1600 maybe, and so it just tripped me out that history for America is this much, but history for German and like architecture for German is so big. I was like, wow, that is fantastic. So that was one of the things that I was blown away by.
I mean, if you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend watching the music video to Deutschland by Rammstein. Which was their comeback single last year, because it's one, not gonna lie, it's one of the best music videos I've ever seen.
Wow.
From the production value of it, because it really is like time lapse of German history. and aspects of the German history from like old Romans when they were here and built like little settlements and Germania and those kinds of things, like a couple of thousands of years ago to today pretty much. And it really covers a huge time span in German history. And I guess you would really dig that. That is really good.
That sounds right up my alley. That sounds so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that is interesting, and I totally agree. Like we have much history. I mean, of course, also not so good things that have happened in the past. Everyone knows about that, like Second World War and like Hitler. And,
yeah, of course.
On the other end of the spectrum, there are so many great things that have happened throughout like centuries and decades. And like, for instance, Germans have invented so many things we all use. Also, I don't know if you know that, but like the MP3 format, like MP3 files, those were invented in Germany as well.
Really?
Yeah, that was like das Fraunhofer Institute, the Fraunhofer Institute, which is pretty much like sort of a university department here in Germany for technical matters and stuff, and they came up with that in the early 2000s, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. And from there on, it actually, reached the whole world.
Yeah, that everyone uses MP3 now.
And also changed things like the whole download culture back in the day, like with iPods. And I mean, we're both like round about the same age.
Yeah.
So we know that, like, we still remember like MP3 players and like Discmans and burning CDs for like Discmans and stuff, right?
I used to walk around with like this little disc player, and I put it in my backpack and had headphones. And if I stepped too hard, like the disc would skip. And it would like lose my music. I was like, no. So I had to like be gentle with it, you know.
Yeah, I have so many fun memories about that.
My girlfriend's looking at me like I'm old now.
I mean, yeah, we sort of are, I guess. I mean, you know, I'm turning 30 next year.
Wow, happy birthday. Almost. So
yeah, in Germany, it's considered sort of like bad luck to wish someone an early birthday.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, it's like superstition, I guess, but it really is like if you wish someone an early birthday before it's their actually birthday, that means bad luck.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. You didn't know. I mean, I would like to invite you as well next year.
Cool. When is your birthday?
July 13th.
July 13th?
Yeah, like pretty much in the middle of the summer, like middle of July.
So you're turning
July 13th.
You're turning 29 in a month or two?
Yep.
Right on. Okay. Hey,
so
that's cool.
Yeah.
I would say happy birthday, but
I mean, feel invited. If you can make it, if you can come. Of course, it's like a huge distance and probably pretty expensive and stuff. But
yeah, the thing that's tripping me out right now is that I have so little money due to the coronavirus. You know, like just not being able to go to work. I'm like, I can't afford to go to the grocery store. So hopefully that clears up, and then I can start, you know, making my money again. But I would love to come by, especially for your 30th birthday. That'd be sick. That's a milestone.
It's about time that we actually meet.
Yeah, it blows my mind sometimes that we haven't met, you know, because I'm like, I feel like we're such good friends, and I'm like, you know, I've known you for a while, and I'm like, wait a second, I actually have never met you in person. It's so weird, you know, but I like it.
If it wasn't for the distance, like that is like the biggest problem in everything, but we will make it. We will make it. Definitely, we need to.
We've gone this far.
And that would be like, honestly, once that's gonna happen, that's gonna be one of my highlights in the year.
Heck yeah!
Not kidding.
Not kidding, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Because I mean, you know. Just feels like you're like sort of like a soulmate when it comes to like the love for music and those kinds of things, and you know, it's just awesome. It's just awesome.
It's cool when you find someone that you click with so well, you know what I mean? Especially you're wearing a Nirvana shirt. I fucking love Nirvana. You mentioned Tool earlier. They're one of my favorite bands, so it's like we're right there together with the whole. Oh, is that Foo Fighters? Yes. I love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing my own band. This is my own band's
The Model
merch
Youth.
right now.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah, please everyone check out the Model Youth.
Thank
and
you.
I'm not saying, and by the way, I'm not saying that honest about this. I'm not saying that because it's Adam right here filming this with me, but it's also, and I'm honest about those things because I like the band as well, like personally.
Wow, dude,
I've just listened to them, like to your band as well. For instance, Collide is one of the songs that I really like a lot. Like the build up, it begins like really quietly almost, like with guitar and stuff, and then it really gets louder and louder with really great hook lines and melodies, and I really appreciate that, like melodic rock.
dude,
and stuff.
thank you so much. That
Yeah.
warms my heart to hear that. You know? And I'm like, it's crazy to me sometimes that like this song that I wrote 2-3 years ago is now traveled the world, and you know, friends from around the world have heard this song, and I'm like, that's so crazy to me that it's possible, you know.
Yeah. It sort of reminded me like a little bit of like Blink 182.
Yeah,
That also
that's
like
sort of the vibe
Offspring.
we were going for with it, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. Like that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Also like the cover art, by the way.
Thank you. That's right here.
Ah, all right.
You're not gonna be able to see it on this camera, but for you right now, that's the cover art on the wall. And
Nice.
so when Collide came out, my two friends, they're like my best friends from high school. They got it printed and framed for me. So that's the first thing I've ever released for myself, and now it's on my wall.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh, dude, I could talk to you all day, honestly.
Yeah.
It's fun, much fun. But let's see if I have any questions left for this video. I think that was about it, I guess. Do you have like a favorite German term of all time? Like one that you like the most, like sound-wise, for instance, or meaning-wise, maybe?
I guess as simple as it is, just saying "Ich habe Hunger" is just like personal to me because of my mom, and I learned that when I was 8 years old or whatever, you know, and that was something so crazy for me at first. I was like, wow, I'm speaking another language. And then, you know.
But you said you like some of your ancestors are from Germany. Is your mom from Germany as well? Like
My mom's side. So my grandma, her mom is from Germany. So it's my great grandma. And so my grandma's last name is Wenthold, right? And there is a town, very, very small, somewhere in Germany called Wentholdhausen. So my grandma's last name is based off of this town in Germany. So it's like we literally come from Germany.
Nice.
So
awesome. And by the way, that's another typical thing. The ending of that town name, Hausen, that is really typical for many German towns. Like, for instance, a big German town, Oberhausen, which is also pretty close to where I live, like in North Rhine-Westphalia, which also has that ending, that suffix in it, and many like little towns. For instance, there's literally a little village. I don't know if you can even call it a village, because it pretty much features like 3 houses and that's it. Like, and it's also called Dreihausen, like 3.
Sorry, time out really quick. I love that you said 3 instead of 3. Dude.
Yeah, right?
Sorry, I just saw you do that. I was like, wow, that's a real thing.
It's another,
Sorry,
another difference, Yeah, but that's something that you don't realize. But yeah, I mean, if I was to like show like 3, I wouldn't use it like this. I would show it like this. Yeah.
It's so crazy. Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
That's so in the movie he says we want 3 drinks like this, and the guy goes, that's not how we do that. We do it like this, you know? So in my family's case, it'd be Wentholdhausen, which literally is the house of Wenthold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oberhausen is literally the house of, I guess, over, you know? Because that's what Ober means, right?
Yeah, upper house, Upperhausen, so to speak.
Gotcha, okay.
I don't know why it's called Oberhausen, though. It's interesting. I mean, the region where I'm from is Sauerland, which is a sour land.
Oh.
but there's nothing particularly sour about our region, as far as I know. So I don't know why it's called Sauerland.
On that same note of like, you don't know why there is San Diego, right? Is Spanish for Saint Diego. You know what I mean? Was there Saint Diego as one of the missions? I've never heard of Saint Diego before.
No, me neither.
It's San Diego de Alcala.
What is it?
It's San Diego de Alcala.
What the fuck is that?
That's the first It's the first mission. It's the mission I did for my report.
I don't know. You know.
Okay.
In California, we have these things called missions. Have you heard of them ever?
Missions. I've heard of that term, yeah, but I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, they're religious structures that the Catholics brought to California in the very, very beginning.
Okay.
And so they built these structures. Interestingly enough, every single mission on the California coast is exactly 1 day's walk or horse ride. 1 day's horse ride from the other one. So you could go all the way up the California coast by horseback and hit every single mission.
Awesome. Didn't know about that at all.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
California history.
Another like a trivia fact that just popped up in my mind is like you use like the system like Fahrenheit for temperature. And as far as I know, Fahrenheit was a German physicist.
I'm pretty sure you're right, yeah.
And it's interesting because, you know, it's only a couple of countries in the world that use Fahrenheit, and most countries in the world use Celsius.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure
Celsius was like a Swedish physicist, if I'm not mistaken. And
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's super weird for me being American and also being really into science and whatnot, because we're the only country, well, there's two countries that use the imperial system, which is like feet, inches, miles, Fahrenheit, and then the rest of the world uses meters, Celsius. I also do scuba diving as well, so
Nice.
Yeah, it's super fun, but I know my depth in meters. You know what I mean? Because scuba diving is all using the international form. And so all my depths are in meters and whatnot. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah. And it also applies to like miles per hour and kilometers per hour and those kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Distances.
They
speed.
just started adding on American signs. They would add how many miles, like from here, how many miles it is to Los Angeles, and then right under that they'll have how many kilometers it is. And that's
really?
That's a new thing, like within the last 5-10 years.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why we started doing that, but we did. But here we are.
Cool. All right. So yeah, I mean, there are many more things that we could technically and theoretically and practically and whatnot talk about, and maybe we will at a later date. I mean, I would be down for that. I mean, I guess we could talk about many more things that come to mind. But this should do for now, this video right here. So once again, thank you so very much, Adam, for taking your time to do this video with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It really means a lot.
I appreciate it.
Really
Yeah, thank you for having me. I love this. And I learned a lot too, which is so cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you enjoyed this, let us know by leaving a like, by hitting the like button, sharing it with other people, of course. If you want to check out Adam, Adam's channel, Adam's band, and also Adam on FBE React in like many videos. By the way, is there like, did you ever react on like FBE to German things or like German stuff? Was there an episode like that? I don't know.
Maybe we tried German things, like tried German foods, but I don't know if I was in that episode. I know they've done like, well, we're going to try Korean food today. We're going to try, Japanese candy, stuff like that. And I think they've done try German food and try German like snacks and candies and whatnot. But I don't think I was in that episode.
We will do that once I'm there.
I would love that.
I'm gonna bring some German candy and stuff. So yeah. Don't worry.
Heck yeah.
We will do that. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm your Vlog Dave. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal. And of course, you can find links to everything I just mentioned in the video description, PS and stuff, like his band, and check it out. It's worth it. Bye-bye.
Heck yeah. Okay, the very last thing you said tschüss, right, which is bye. What else did you say? Tschüss, and then you said ein bisschen?
Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Ooh, okay. What is that?
It pretty much means bye and until next time.
Okay.
Until the next time. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Why wouldn't you say like tschüss and then like bis später?
I could also do that. It just... Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. It just became like sort of like a phrase for me to say at the end of every video. I don't know why exactly. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal. I don't know.
Keep it. I like it. But
I mean,
bis später
bis
would
später,
also work.
Until later, yeah. So it would be even shorter, of course, but I don't know why I keep saying like tschüss und bis zum... I haven't really thought about that. Interesting.
Keep it though. I like it.
Yeah.
It's it.
And like at the beginning of each video, I say Hallo zusammen, which means hello all together, hello together.
Gotcha.
Hallo, yeah, Hallo zusammen.
Right.
Which also like sort of like a colloquial way of saying hello.
Okay, gotcha.
So, all right, awesome, dude.